welcome to this episode of Light 'em Up. We take a deep dive on the criminal justice system, crime scene investigation, and leadership. We enlighten, educate, and empower others with the truth. Hey, like it or not, the truth disturbs, the truth divides, but ultimately, the truth delivers. Hey, I'm your host, Phil Rizzo. I'm the principal owner of Rizzo's Protective Group. We are a security consulting firm that works daily to mitigate high-risk security issues, headquartered out of Akron, Ohio, and with offices in the Bronx, New York, and Cerro Alto, the Dominican Republic. As we put the ball on the tee to line things up for kickoff, we speak life, health, and prosperity over each and every one of you, and we want to thank you for joining us tonight on this explosive, investigatory follow-up edition of Light 'em Up. As we previously advised you, when there was a significant break or an update in the case of the mysterious death of Crystal McCrory Jones, a case that we've highlighted and featured out of Louisiana, we promised we'd be there to share the facts with you in detail, and we're here to do just that. We are very fortunate again to sit down and chat one-on-one, in depth, with our now dear friend and special guest, Jana Gajewski Ladiger, the sister of Crystal McCrory Jones, who died under very, very suspicious circumstances. From the outset, we assert that all persons are cloaked with the presumption of innocence, and we state clearly and emphatically that no person has been adjudicated to have committed any violation of the law as we go to air with this broadcast. On February 9th, 2023, in the sleepy town of Oak Grove, Louisiana, Crystal was found dead in her home from what was reported to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Within 1 hour and 45 minutes, the cause of death was ruled a suicide. Here are just some of the more highly suspicious facts of the case. The fact pattern showed that 2 days prior to Crystal's death, the Ring doorbell camera to her home was cut off. Why? And by whom, we ask? Now you tell me, was that a coincidence or evidence of pre-planning or conspiracy or an attempt to cover up the tracks of a murder? Truth is an affirmative defense to slander and or libel. Fact. Her husband, Tony Joe Jones, was an employee at some time of the West Carroll Parish Sheriff's Department, the department charged with investigating the case. This I know from being an investigator for many, many years. No matter who you are or what you do in life, if your spouse is dead in your home under any questionable circumstances, you can expect to be considered a suspect. That never happened in this case. Why? We ask, why not? There is argument being proffered that Tony changed his story as to his whereabouts and specific location on the day Crystal died. Google location data places him near the home, consistent with and in conjunction to the time of death initially listed on Crystal's death certificate. The medical examiner initially allegedly changed the time of death from 10:35 a.m. to 5:05 p.m. Again, we continue to ask, why? Shortly following his wife's death, Tony, Crystal's husband, vigorously pursued efforts to collect on a $63,000 group life insurance policy. Soon thereafter, facts show that Tony had her body cremated. Now, was this evidence of a guilty mind, establishing the necessary legal mens rea in an effort to destroy any physical evidence or prevent any hope of a third-party independent forensic exam of the body? Upon Crystal's death, Jana and Crystal's surviving family members were denied an investigation into her sister's death by the Louisiana State Police Department. Again, we ask why. Why the rush to judgment with so little, if any, investigation? Her death was pretty much instantly ruled as a suicide by the medical examiner, who made multiple visible errors on his official paperwork and who has had a troubled history in making professional errors so glaring and substantial as to be the cause for reversible error, as was the case in the Memphis 3. Shortly, we'll dig deep and drill down on the facts, not the fiction, as she relates the answers to many questions, details and facts, experiences, and takeaways of her recent advocacy trip, which took her to our nation's capital to meet with elected officials regarding the loss of her sister.